Okay, my friends, I have never been so proud and so happy to have a friend like Rod Warren. And this is his work. He did the original experiments that proved my electron flood theory, and I cannot thank him enough. We've been working together here, at least 6 or 7 years, and these were the original set of work that we did. And I saw his pictures just accidentally on some site on YouTube, not YouTube, but on Facebook. And all he was doing is putting pictures up. Rod's not a big talker. He just was putting pictures and pictures, pictures, pictures. And people were basically laughing, what is this guy? What crazy looking things are this? All this nutcase stuff. Well, no, I saw it and I said, whoa, this guy is a genius. This is unbelievable. And I mean, that's just light accelerating. If you cannot see that, and they can't, they literally cannot see that. The top physicists don't understand that. This is how it started, was the red pulse laser, exciting all the particles in the air. This is all electron flood theory. Now, Rod's not an atomic guy. He has nothing to do with the atomic side of it whatsoever. But I said to him, Rod, he goes, well, how did you do this? He said, well, I was trying to do a double slit experiment. I said, well, tell me what you did, because you did not do that. You did something extraordinary. And he started to try to explain it to me. And, like I say, he's not a man of many words. So it took a long time, but I finally realized what he was doing. He created what's called a venturi. And I'm going to show you this in extremely good detail. And I want people to make this, because we can get free energy right there. Because what he actually ended up doing was creating the acceleration of the light. He was able to visualize the particle because he's using only a CMOS phone. And they are used for cosmic ray detectors, because cosmic rays are these rays. They're high energy particles. That's why they can see them, because you have to have that energy. Back here where there was no concussion, you don't see anything, but there's light all over. You see these waves? Those waves were back here. But you don't see them because they're not directly in line with the collider. Now, it was just an accident Rod did this, and we could see the light accelerating and slowing down. That's the blue. We could see the light obviously accelerating, no question whatsoever, which totally 100% destroys Einstein. He did all this, nobody realized it. And not only that, he created what CERN wants using a cell phone and this. This is it. 6 years ago we did this. When I saw it, I just was absolutely off the charts. I couldn't come down off the sky for about a month. There's the muons and there's the electron showers. There's the muons, electron showers. They broke off from the black ball. It's just absolutely phenomenal that nobody will give us the time of day to look at this. But this is a tribute to Rodney, because I'm going to tell you what, when the push comes to shove, and it will, he's the guy that deserves some kind of prize. I don't give him Nobel on steroids, because this changes everything there is. And this supports my electron flood theory, which also changes everything there is. Hubble, Einstein, Bohr, right off the board. Thank you, Rodney, brother. I cannot thank you enough, man. Okay, I've shown this over and over and over, but now I want you to be able to do this at home. And it's very, very simple. If you could make some form of a jig, I'm going to call it. This is to meter gases and so forth. They're using a venturi, but we used a venturi to accelerate the light, because that's what it does. It shows you exactly what it does. And it creates all of these little diversions in here, and all of these little swirling particles. They understand how a venturi works. They just didn't ever relate it to light or any of that stuff. So let's just forget about that part. Let's just go into the engineering. And how is the engineering done? You have a little slider plate goes this way and a slider plate that goes that way. Your laser's coming in from here. So the laser's shooting this way. It's just one of these. I'm serious. That's it. Boom. Now, you need to have some, either rounded or maybe even an angle. I'm not sure. You could play around with all kinds of stuff, but I would like use hot glue, or I don't care what you do. But you make a little plate that slides in and slides in here, so you can vary this distance. This is the key. This distance is, I'm going to call it tuning. So you have to tune this distance to get the most efficient output. Now, we're going to try to harvest this energy because we've increased the energy value astronomically, as I have shown thousands of times now. Literally, it's been 6-7 years now. But just life goes on. You can't change things overnight. But anyway, this is all you got to do. This is it. And then on the other side, you're going to see your patterns, and you're going to see what you do is you take your phone. And Rod said, I let Rod, well, I didn't let him do it. He did it. But I stayed away from it. Let me put it that way. He said he used the selfie side and went right up into it. Boom, boom, boom. He was getting these pictures right on it. And this is the phone he used. I had exactly the same stuff. This is exactly what he used, and this is exactly what he used. I did the same experiments, but Rod was so good at it, I just stayed away from it. How can you saw what he can do, or I will show you what he can do. I think I did already, but if I didn't, you're damn sure going to see it. Because this is a tribute to my good friend, Rodney Warren. Down under. He's down in Australia, and I can never, ever thank him enough, or the world can never, ever thank him enough for sticking with this. I've been working with Rodney now, got to be at least 7 years, 6-7 years. And just today, if I didn't show you, I will show you. He sent me, I think it was 20 different pictures today. He just loves doing the experiments. He's not the atomic guy. I do the atomic stuff. But if he didn't show me this, if I didn't see this, I could never prove my atomic stuff. There's no way. No, I'd just be another talking head saying, "Oh yeah, oh yeah, we got all this stuff going on," and that's because I could draw doodles all day long. But if I could show you the actual picture, which Rodney did, the case, she's closed. All right, so literally, this is everything you need to get started with this. You need a little pulse red laser. Beep, 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 beep. You need a couple of finishing nails, or whatever we're going to use to do this device. And then you need to put a little solar collector panel in here. Now, they make very bright LED panels that are like this. And that's all you need, is because it works both ways. If you put light into an LED panel, it puts electricity back out, coming out of here. If you put electricity in, it puts light out. So it's a back. No. So now you can read what comes out of this panel. If it's more energy, say you started with 5 watts. I don't know what these lasers take. You'd have to figure out what the wattage of this is. It's very going to be tiny. They're only 9-volt battery. I think it's a 9-volt. It's actually 2 little AA's. But that's it. So whatever the wattage that's used for the laser, if we're getting more wattage out here, that means we have an increase. That means we have free energy, literally free energy. Even in the best anybody can do right now is when they're trying with this fusion, they're only getting 80% back of what they used to do the fusion. They're never going to get ahead because all they did was break apart the particles using so much energy, and then that energy, they're reabsorbing it, but they're only up to 80% or so, and they think that's a big breakthrough. They've already lost 20%, and they're happy. If we can exceed the 5 watts and bring it to 1,000 watts, which is what they say we should be able to do, 200 times, by splitting these muons from their particles, and harvest it at a solar collector plate right here. And we're going to collect all these little particles. And when I show, well, I did show you, or I will, those are particles, and they got a hell of a punch. All right, this is where your venturi is, right here. And that's how we're going to be able to, I think I showed you, there's little flanges here that you can slide these little sliders back and forth, and we're going to create extreme amounts of energy and surround the whole thing with thin film layered transition metals. Now, this is going to be some serious power explosion in here. So I don't know what's going to happen inside there. I mean, it's not going to be dangerous, but I don't know what will happen, to be perfectly honest with you. If we can absorb that energy, we're going to be fine. I don't know what would happen if you couldn't absorb it. I don't think it can explode. I just don't know, to be perfectly honest with you. Because what Rodney's doing now, it's just coming out of here and splashing out of here like crazy. And he actually told me he can hear it. He can hear the light itself crackling as it goes through there, dependent upon the Venturi. This is the key. We need to do some experiments. And I showed very easily that these little tiny LEDs that are on the new light bulbs, all right, they take the AC, they turn it into little DC, and they drive these with very small amounts of electricity. And I was able to put my meter on each side of the LED and shine light on it and show that I could get a half a volt on each one of these little chips. And these are not even the best, and that was just with light. Regular, it's a pretty bright flashlight, but it was a half a volt from one of these, and ambient light gave me like 0.01 volts, so it pumped it up 50 times, right? 0.01, and then I got 0.5. That's 50 times. And they say that you can pump it up 200 times using the muon accelerator, which is what we got. So everybody play around, and then we need to be able to harvest the energy. And that all it is you dump the electrons out from the transition metal harvester, which maybe you need some copper, or I don't know what it would be. Somebody's got to engineer this that knows more about this than me. But it would drive the electrons out, and then you'd need to have it grounded somehow, because you got to somehow complete the circuit. And again, I don't know what we're going to get out of here. I really, at this point, I don't know. These are going to be raw electrons. Normally, they'd be electron added to the dark matter part. I don't think they've ever done, well, I know nobody's doing this yet. So what's it going to do here? I don't know. This has all got to be tested out and checked out. But we can see the spray, no question whatsoever. We're getting fission, then we're getting fusion. That case is closed. What happens in between? Can we do something? Je ne sais pas. All right, this is Rodney's original experiment, and he had the same little laser like this, facing at us, coming through. And this is a newer laser probably, because it doesn't have the same. Because his was exactly identical to this. I bought this. His was a metric one, but this is for the U.S. Inches and feet. But anyway, it shoots out the laser pulse through this side. The receiver is here. We don't care about that. So we need the pulse. Boom, 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 boom. And it's coming at us. And then we get this spray like absolutely insane. Now, he's got a certain distance and we want to use that adjustable one, like I said. And you could use copper, you could use all kind of different things, and maybe make Venturi sideways like this instead of round, or waffly. I don't care how you made it. Maybe even twist it in, or all kinds of different things you could do. Because this is very simple and it's passive. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to add any energy at all. And you make them on that little slide, and you could set up a jig, and then with the slots in it, and then you could take anything you want and just put it in there and slide it back and forth. And you don't even need the pins to hold it. You just put it where you want it, and it'll just stay there, I would assume. Maybe it'll push away. I don't know. This is some powerful, powerful light. It's just amazing. Now, this was he sent me today. Look at this. These are the Higgs fields, and let's just go right through some of these. Boom. Look at that. This is that electron energy, and this is where it concusses. This is exactly what they say from CERN and Fermilab they want to see, is these electron showers and these Higgs fields. And boy, you got them there. Let's see what else we got here. Look at this. Look at this is coming down and pouring this white energetic value all over the place. You see this? That's just raw energy, I think. I could be totally wrong. I might just be all hopped up on hoping that this is something. Look at that. Stunning stuff. And then he does all kinds of crazy things, because now he's using 2, 3, 4, 5 different Venturis at the same time. The ones that we originally did was a single Venturi, a single slit. Oops. Hold on 1 second. All right, so I'm showing you basically what Rodney is doing now, some of the new stuff. But this was the original work that we worked on together. I believe it was this one or that one. I can't remember what I originally saw, but it just blew my mind. And then as I started to dig deeper and deeper into what he did and how he got these results, I knew exactly what I could. I mean, how could you miss it? That's accelerating light. If you can't see that, I mean, you're just a dismissalist. And this is what I found in academia: absolute denial and dismissal of what cannot be denied or dismissed. And that was what upset me. And I told Rodney, I said, well, I will never let this settle, my brother. Don't you worry. We'll get to the end of this, and we are getting there, my friend. Now, and there's the particle. So we started with light. So we didn't start with a bunch of particles, which is, CERN is working with billions of particles, smashing them and digging through the debris and can't find anything. We know what we started with. We can see the light here. We see it accelerating. We see the particle. We see it concuss. We see it explode. We see it divide. We see it combine, fission, fusion, cold fusion on a desktop. Higgs fields, spinning light, slowing down, speed it up, slowing down, particles, muons attached to electron neutrinos, and then this one is the killer. Because everything else I can sort of, I understand it now. Basically, I understand the particles, I understand the Higgs fields, I understand the acceleration, I understand basically everything. But this one, this, I believe, is a reverse anti-spinner, and it concussed with a normal Higgs field here, and that is something that is unknown to anyone, anywhere. Trust me, I can guarantee you that. You know, now that I think about it, the CERN may be able to see these kind of crazy things. Now, how do they explain something like that? I'd like to hear an explanation about that, because I don't know, is it turning back into a normal Higgs field now that it concussed? That's bright and strong, and it's flaring. I don't know what's going to happen there. And again, we don't have the resources to dig much deeper than we dug, and I think we dug pretty damn deep. And Rodney, like I say, absolutely tireless, you know. And again, not a man of many words, but and a lot of this stuff, he never said a word about. Here's the pictures, have a nice day. And I would have to drag the information out of him. And he's not interested in any limelights or anything, but you know, he should be very well understood that it was Rodney that did this, and without this, there's no way I could prove my electron flood theory, and I would have never done this. Somebody else I might have seen something, but I can guarantee you that nobody else would have stuck up and kept up, and continues right to this very day. And I'm just very, very impressed and thankful. All right, I love you guys. All right, recently Rodney's been doing a lot, spraying water in the air, and you can see these patterns just right in the air, absolutely unbelievable. But here he is, he's got his 2 nails, he's got his laser coming at us, and this is a little video he did. And this is the kind of stuff he sends me a lot. There's no words or anything, he just sends it, and I look at it, and I try to figure out what he's doing. Now, this is obviously coming at us, and we can see the interference patterns. And they're not really interference patterns, they're push away, get away from me, you get away from me, and they set up these stripes coming through, because the white ones do not want to be next to each other. So they'll end up setting up these patterns, which they always called interference. But this is a single slit, and it's the Venturi.